गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Adhyatma Ramayana, chapter 2, Balakand, the second canto, and we are on the 20th verse. And we are looking at how Naradji is praising the Lord Shri Ram. Kuberastvam Rama Sita Sarva Sampat Prakirtita Rudrani Janaki Prokta Rudrastvam Lokanasha Kruta Loke Stri Vachakam Yavat Tat Sarvam Janaki Shubha Punnamavachakam yavat tat sarvam tvam hi raghava tasma lokatraye deva yuvabhyam nasti kinchana. O Shri Ram, Kuberastvam Rama Sita Sarva Sampat Prakirtitaha. You are Kuber and Sita represents all the wealth, prosperity and fame. You are Rudra, the one who wrathfully slays, annihilates the world, while auspicious Sita is called Rudrani. O Raghav, O Shri Ram, verily, whatever is masculine in this creation is represented by you, while the feminine aspect is denoted by Sita. Hence, O Lord, nothing in this world exists which is not one or the other aspect of either of you. And this I was explaining to you last week, that how everything in this creation, there is the positive force and the negative force. Duality means creation. Duality means relativity. Duality means prakriti. And duality is the two opposing forces, the Purusha and the Prakriti, the subject and the object, the positive and the negative. And in this way, who is the Purusha? Don't take here as positive and negative. But who is the Purusha? The Sri Ram is the Purusha. Who is the Prakriti? Sita ji is the Prakriti. This thought, how one alone is all, many. How Ram alone is Kuber, Ram alone is Brahma, Ram alone is Shiva, Ram alone is Kartikeya, Ram alone is Sun, Ram alone is every masculine aspect of this creation is Sri Ram. And how Sita ji, the feminine aspect alone, is the other one. This unique thought is presented only in the Sanatana Dharma. So we may use different names. We may use Brahma Puran, Shiv Puran, Linga Puran, Vishnu Puran, Ganpati Puran, all different names, Shakti Puran. But our understanding is, by nature, we were born like that, that all of these are expressions of one. One alone became two, and those two are pervading in and through the entire creation, or through the entire relativity. Because wherever there is relativity, where there is Prakriti, there alone relationship is possible. Rama and Sita is a relationship. Ram knows that he is the infinite one. Sita knows she is the infinite one. Yet the game of two is going on. See? Yet the game of father, husband, brother, son is going on. You are one. The game of mother, daughter, sister, wife is going on. But you are one woman. Once you catch this now, it is very, very freeing. Continuing in the 20th verse. Tvad abhasodita jnanam avyakrutamiti tasman mahanstatah sutram lingam sarvatmakam tatah ahankarascha buddhischa pancha pranhendriyani cha lingamityuchyate prajnaihi janma mrityu sukhadimata. So now again, we saw this, what is going to be told now, Tvad abhaso Tvad abhasa udita jnanam. So what these two verses and further verses are going to tell, we have already studied in the first chapter, Ram Hridayam. So in a different, as we told you, Adhyatma Ramayana is a spiritual take of Sri Ramayana, and here the Kathakar, Lord Shiva, is telling to Parvati ji, and in every opportunity, the spiritual aspect will keep getting declared again and again, again and again, again and again. This is not to trouble you, this is not to cheese you off, this is only to impress on our mind that, hey, it is one who is expressing as many. It is one who is expressing as many. Someday it will click if the same thing is banged again and again. You were born without a name. Your parents gave you a name. They called you Nagraj. Again and again, again and again, again and again they called you. Now you accept that you are Nagraj. You accept that you are Narayan. You accept that you are Swami. See? So same way, here if we keep saying again and again, some of you are listening almost every day, we keep banging. The scriptures keep banging us. You are the Atma. You are the infinite. You are the all-pervasive. You are the source of everything. You are the presence in whom everything is going on. But one day it will click. See? One day it will click. Bhai, I accept. Don't repeat it again. I've heard it enough. Before you start the sentence, I can complete it. That's good. So here he says, ignorance arising out of the shadow of your halo and radiance is known as the indiscernible, undefined, unverifiable aspect of you, or ignorance symbolizes the dark shadow cast by you. Where is the shadow? Wherever there is no light, there is shadow. Wherever there is no light, there is shadow. So what is light? Wherever we don't recognize ourselves, there is shadow. Wherever we don't see ourselves as the body, close your eyes, there is darkness. See? So what is this ignorance? It is arising out of the shadow of your radiance, and out of this ignorance, out of this darkness, out of this, and what is it? It is undefinable. It is undefinable. You cannot prove that it exists, yet we talk of it. When looked into it, it does not stand a chance of existence. Ignorance does not exist. What is the status of shadow when you go out in the sun? It seems to be there. It's following you everywhere. But has it got an independent status? Is it useful for any purpose? Can it do anything? No. Exactly the same way. This. So now this is very important. Just like shadow is nothing, it is existing in its own absence. Same way, out of this shadow of the Lord, radiance, out of it arises the element of importance, greatness, grandeur, and ego, which in turn creates Sutratma. That one, as if desired, became the two. Now he is called Ishwar and Prakriti, Shiva or Shakti. That Shakti then becomes Sattva, Trigunatmika, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And in that, the entire possibility is existing in the unmanifest form. That is called the Sutratma, the invisible microcosmic subtle body called the Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb or the golden egg. And out of that Hiranyagarbha comes out the Virat Purush. Here, what does it say here? Out, and the latter Sutratma, which in turn creates Sutratma, and the latter produces the mortal body called a Lingdeha, consisting of the various sense organs, that is the myriad creatures of the world. So Lingadeha, so he is going to explain what is Lingadeha in the 21st verse. And what is that Lingadeha? Consisting of various sense organs. So Lingadeha is Ahankarascha Buddhischa Pancha Pranendriyani Cha Lingam Ityuchyate Pragnehi Janma Mrityu Sukhadimata. This is the definition of Lingadeha. Describing what is Lingadeha, Naradji elucidates further the various permutations and combinations or assorted collection of ahankar, meaning pride, vanity, hypocrisy, haughtiness, arrogance, plus buddhi. What is buddhi? Intelligent doubting, debates, logic, argument, questioning. Ahankarascha buddhischa. So we saw what was ahankar and what is buddhi. Now pancha prana. Pancha prana is the five vital airs. What are the five vital airs? Pran, apan, udan, saman. Pran, apan, vyan, udan, saman. They are the five airs. These are the ones which function inside. The air goes into our nostrils from this distance onwards, from this point onwards, the general air becomes pranavayu. 12 fingers away from your nostrils, it becomes pranavayu. And once it enters into your system, then it again bifurcates into Vyan, Udan, Saman, Apan. Each one has its own function. I think I told you last week. And the 10 Indriyas are collectively called the Linga Deha. 10 Indriyas, all the 2 eyes, 2 nose, 2 ears, 1 mouth, genitals and anus. But here we are talking about is called the Linga Deha, are collectively called the Linga Deha, having the attributes of and characterized by birth, death, sorrow and happiness by the wise and learned people, Prajnana. Prajnana Purusha, Prajnana, Lingam Iti Uchyate. So that Ahankar plus Buddhi plus Panchaprana plus Indriya means the sense organs, together are called as linga, linga deha. By whom? By prajnaihi. And what is this lingam? What is its characteristic? Janma mrityu sukhadi mata. It is subjected to, this linga deha is subjected to birth, death, sukha, dukkha, adi mata. Mata of prajnaihi. The saying, the wise people say that this linga deha is subjected to birth, death, joy, sorrow, success, failure, victory, defeat, etc., etc. And in this way, continuing to the 22nd and 23rd, स एवं जीवसंन्यश्च लोके भाति जगन्मयः अवाच्यानाद्य विद्यैव कारणोपाधिरुच्यते स्थूलं सूक्ष्मं कारणाख्यम् उपाधित्रितयं चितेः एतैर्विशिष्टो जीवः स्याद् वियुक्तः परमेश्वरः. The pure consciousness, when it is engrossed in this deceptive world and falsely identifies its pure self with the gross body, is called a jiva creature. Ignorance, which has no end or beginning and which cannot be described by words, is the cause and attribute or characteristic feature of this thing called jiva. Jiva, not jiva. I'm becoming Kannadiga. Jiva. I keep going. Ishvara, Jiva. It is Ishvara, Jiva. See what association does. It's corrupting me. So this whole, what is this whole? All this body, this birth, this death, this arrogance, this ego, this subtle senses, subtle mind, buddhi, and then the Sutratma, the golden egg, and before that the shadow, all this was born out of what? It came out of, it is the expression of. This is a very, very important point. All this, what you see, hear, touch, feel, taste, think, ideate, imagine, all this is expression of that ignorance, the shadow. And what is the status of the shadow? That which does not exist, or that which exists in its own absence. That is its status. And this we have taken to be real. This which is born out of the shadow, we have taken to be real. And then they write books on the personality of a person by analyzing the shadow of a person. There are books. People write the personality of a person by analyzing the dreams that a person gets. How much wrong way we can go? We are of the nature of consciousness. Body is not conscious, senses are not conscious, mind is not conscious, intellect is not conscious, I thought is not conscious. They are all inert. And that inertness has come out, is an expression of the ignorance. Very simply put, if it clicks, great. What we call as out of the ignorance everything came, out of deep sleep the waking have come out, and out of deep sleep the dream has come out. But what is deep sleep? Nothingness, absence, zero. Out of that zero, waking and dream have come. Does not mean that waking and dream have a status of reality. Inquire a little bit, where have they come from? But this is how we have accepted ourselves to be the body, that this world is real. Pure unadulterated consciousness has only three states: physical, microscopic, and causal. That is, gross, subtle, and causal. So, gross is what? Gross is the waking body, subtle is the dream body, and causal is no body, zero. That is the deep sleep state. Subtle is the dream state, gross is the waking state. See? Pure unadulterated consciousness has only three states. When this consciousness is equipped with these three attributes or characters, it is known as Jiva, the creature. And when it is free from these three elements, it is famed as Parameshwar, Paramatma, the Supreme Person. So now decide, you want to identify yourself as the waker, dreamer, sleeper with reference to waking world, dream world, and no world, or you want to be the person who knows that the waking, dream, and deep sleep are coming and going every day. Therefore, you are not merely the waker, dreamer, sleeper, you are their master. In other words, once you have assessed that you are not the father, brother, daughter, etc., you are the man or the woman, then the roles that you are playing, they are under your control. You will not get affected by them. You will still play the roles. Ishvara plays the roles, takes incarnations, takes avatar, but he is not affected by what is going on. He is not affected by manifestation and unmanifestation of that avatar. But we are affected. So as long as we are under the clutches of gross, subtle, and causal, meaning waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state, till then we are a jiva. The moment you the moment you come out of these three, go beyond these three, transcend all these three, recognize that you are other than these three, then there is no difference between you and the Paramatman. That is what Naradji is saying here. Etar vishishto jiva syad viyukta parameshwaraha. So jivahood is born on account of identity with the gross, subtle, and causal. Disassociation from gross, subtle, and causal brings you to your true nature. And where are we invested? Where have we invested ourselves? Only in the waking, not even in the dream and deep sleep. Only in the waking. So this has to be a conscious decision on the seeker's part, that while living their life on a daily basis, they keep disengaging, disidentifying, detaching themselves not from the world, but instead, while living through the world, their attention, instead of being on detachment and dispassion, their attention is on the unifying principle, that I am the presence, in the presence of whom these states are coming and going, the body is coming and going, the breath is coming and going, the senses are activated and deactivated, the mind is activated, deactivated. Everything is known by you. All activation and deactivation is known by you. Keep taking that position again and again, again and again, again and again. One day it will click. Jagrat swapna sushuptyakhya samsrutirya pravartate tasya vilakshana sakshi chenmatrastvam raghuttama त्वत्तत्त्वत्तवं जगज्जातं त्वयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं त्वय्येव लीयते कृत्स्नं तस्मात् त्वं सर्वकारणम्. O the best of the clan of Raghu Sri Ram, you are stranger to, that is, are beyond and superior to, exception to and separate from, stupendously marvelous as compared to the three types of creation that consist of the waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state of consciousness. So there, okay. So in the previous verse, when they are talking about the physical, subtle and causal, the physical body is this body that you see. The subtle body is the breath and the mind and the buddhi put together is the subtle body, and the causal body is the deep Anandamaya Kosh. So Annamaya Kosh, gross body, Pranmaya, Manomaya, Vijnanmaya, these three put together, subtle body, and Anandamaya Kosh is the causal body. One identified with these three is called as Jiva. What I told was also not wrong. This also is saying, same thing is saying here in the next verse, that you are beyond the three states. You are, O Sri Ram, you are beyond the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupta Avastha. Three types of creation that consist of waking, dream, and a deep sleep state of consciousness. You are simply a conscious witness to these three states of existence, and that is your truth also. You are also a witness to these three states. Even at this moment, you are witness to what is taking place. No, I am listening. How can I be the witness? Acha, tell me, what did we just now say? What was the question I asked? What topic we are on? What time did we begin? Oh, we began at 6:10. We are talking on this chapter. How do you know? So, if you are the knower and this is the known, only the knower can repeat what he has come to know. So you are not this. Think. Similarly, Sri Ram also is the witness of the three states. That is his natural disposition. Through his example, it is being insisted by Maharishi Vedyas on us that, hey, that Ram is in your heart. He is throbbing in your heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hruddeshe iti tishtati. He is situated in your heart. He is pervading the whole creation. So through Sri Ram, or through devotion through Sri Ram, through surrender through Sri Ram, or recognizing that Sri Ram is the Supreme Person and that Supreme Person is located in your heart, which means you are not other than the Supreme Person. And what is the nature of the Supreme Person? He is unaffected by the waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state coming and going. Where are these three states coming and going? They are only in the equipment. They are only in the instrument. The petrol finishes only in the car. Because petrol finishes, driver doesn't finish. Similarly, who finishes? Who gets exhausted after living a whole day? Waker. He wants to finish. Now, enough man, enough of living. Now, okay, go to sleep. Who gets tired of sleeping? The sleeper. He also wakes up. Who knows that waking came, dream came, and sleep came and went? That one you are. See? So these three states are only expressions of the Prakriti. They are only expressions of the shadow. The whole invisible creation has risen from you, is sustained by you, and merges back into you. That is why you are the cause, the essence, reality, elementary position, the truth of all that exists. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. The whole creation. This was the vision that was presented to Arjuna by Lord Sri Krishna in the 11th chapter. See? The whole creation, and this is your direct data also. Waker comes and goes every day, dreamer comes and goes every day, sleeper comes and goes every day. Do you come and go every day? Nee, I was there yesterday, I am there today, I will be there tomorrow. I have been there every day from my birth till now. Only thing you don't know about before birth. You were there before that also. You don't know that. Why? Because you got identified with this body. Ramchandraji has not. And through Ramchandraji, we can come to our essential nature. That is why you are the cause, the essence, the reality, the truth of all that exists. There is no world. What is spirituality? Spirituality is rediscovering the Jeev Jagat Ishwar to be an expression of that one divine reality. Right now, what is our disposition? God is somewhere else. I am a papi. I am a sinner. And this world is too difficult to handle. Too many uncontrollable circumstances taking place. Toilet paper not available in the shelves. That is the big problem of life. ये क्या करे? Spirituality does not mean fixing the world. Spirituality means rediscovering the individual, the world, the Jagat. And what is Jagat? The gross, subtle and causal, all three. That is Jagat. And Ishvara. All of them are expressions of that one reality. And that reality, Sri Ram is. And Sri Ram is located in my heart. He is none other than the consciousness that I am. Therefore, I am the reflection of Sri Ram. I am of the nature of Sri Ram. Which means I am also not affected by Jeev Jagat Ishvara. Come to this realization. This happens by surrender or by inquiry. We don't have to sort out the world. Continuing in the 26th and 27th verse, Rajjavahimivatmanam jivam nyatva bhayam bhavet param mahamiti jnatva bhayadukhair vimuchyate chinmatra jyotisha sarvaha sarvadeheshu buddhayaha tvaya yasmat prakashyante sarvasyatma tato bhavan. Even as here the example, the classic example of Rajju and Sarp is taken, today this thought came in the Amrit Anubhav also in the morning. Even as the illusion of a snake in a rope creates mortal fear of it, the misleading belief, the erroneous thought that this jiva, the creature with the physical body, is me, as in verse 20-23, creates false fear in a person. Just like we see a snake on a rope because of the twilight, because of our in that twilight we, instead of seeing the original rope, we superimposed, we imagined a snake on it, and we see a moving snake, we see the tongue coming out of the snake, we see the snake coming up and biting us. We experience that. But we stepped on this rope. The rope just coiled up, but you thought it was a snake. And you go through the experience of a snake bite till some Guru Maharaj comes, a passerby comes and says, "Hey, that is a rope. What are you frothing for?" And suddenly all the dying symptoms go away. You become normal. For one moment, till you are thinking it is a snake, I have been bitten by a snake. That conviction was making you froth from the mouth and the leg was becoming blue-black and the poison was spreading. Where did that poison come from? It was not even there because there was no snake. Exactly the same way. There is no identification with the body possible. What was told before, Jiva, consciousness identified with gross, subtle and causal body is Jiva. This identification between two opposing uh, qualities is not possible. Just like oil and water cannot mix together, consciousness and matter cannot mix together, yet they are seen to be mixed together, which is called you and me. Instead of trying to sort this out, accept everything as the expression of one. No other culture, no other scripture in the world can explain it so succinctly, so with such clarity, how that one is expressing as the many. That is why our culture is called Sanatana Dharma, eternal way of life. And our duty, dharma, is not towards the creation. The duty, dharma, is not towards towards the money, towards the memories, towards the accumulation. Dharma is towards this one indivisible principle, which I am, which is in my heart, which is my true nature. Continuous application, continuous recognition of that one who is appearing as many is the true dharma. But we have taken it wrong way. We have forgotten that instead we are caught up in dharma of being a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, a parent, employee. You are sabotaging yourself. We are sabotaging our own happiness. And once this jiva, once you accept yourself as the snake, once you accept, remember, from the ignorance, from the shadow, the whole creation came out. From the imaginary snake, all the fear came about. Your identification with the non-existent snake brought about the fear, brought about the symptoms. Exactly the same way, where has this space, air, fire, water, earth, body, breath, mind, intellect, five indriyas, six indriyas, buddhi, ahankar, where have they come out of? That absence, that shadow. What is shadow? Does not exist. Who are you? Consciousness. Consciousness identified with the expression of shadow called this is called jiva, and all the fears, all the expectations, all the regrets, all the realization, all the joy, sorrow, success, failure, gain, loss is all for this jiva. Jiva is the ghost. There is no ghost, there is only the reality. Rope is the reality, snake is the ghost. Identified with a non-existent body. You are like that. You are actually the truth. You are actually the pure consciousness. But on account of identification with one set of equipment, you have become the Jiva. What does it say? Jiva is me creates false fear in a person, just like in that person who stepped on a rope and felt he was bitten by a snake, went through the symptoms of a snake bite. All was in his imagination. Similarly, that imagination, was it real? Imagination is always false. Similarly, once we take this body to be real, all experiences thereafter are only false experiences. They cannot be real. Otherwise, when he realizes that he is the Paramatma, the macrocosmic supreme soul itself in a microscopic form, he is liberated from all fears and sorrows associated with this mundane, delusory world. This is realization. We don't have to kill the body to realize the self. All we have to do is realize that we are the supreme, realize that we are the unattached one, realize that it has never been possible for us to attach to this physical body, subtle body, and causal body. You try to remove the physical, subtle, and causal body, you can never remove it. Can you remove your shadow? When you are moving around in the midday sun, can you remove your shadow? Cannot. It goes wherever you go. This gross, subtle, and causal body is also going wherever you go. Whether you are in India, whether you are in Australia, whether you are under the bed or on top of the bed, wherever you go, it is there. But you have invested in this gross, subtle, and causal by accepting them as real, and we want to sort that out. We want to reassess, we want to format it. As long as I want to reformat my physical, subtle, and causal body, I'm banging against a brick wall. Never will be. Little bit success, long-term failure. Instead of trying to fix that does not exist, instead of trying to fix the illusion, just as a man cannot drink from the mirage waters, similarly, man can never be satisfied by involving in with the gross body, the subtle body, or the causal body. Can never, there is no solution only. But man inherently is seeking a solution. He wants to be happy. But his approach is wrong. He is using that which cannot give him happiness. He's overlooking that which is of the nature of happiness. And that is his consciousness. That is his nature. So he has to bring his attention to the constant principle that he is, the truth that he is, rather than accept himself or herself as the fluctuating personality. Fluctuating personality, sometimes father, sometimes son, sometimes brother, sometimes husband, sometimes waker, sometimes dreamer, sometimes sleeper, sometimes waker. This is fluctuating personality. Are you the fluctuating one or are you the continuous one? Determine for yourself. Determine for yourself. So in this manner, and it is that simple. All we have to do is reconnect with who we are. In fact, it is not even reconnection. Reconnection is only because we are thinking. This obsession with the gross, subtle, and causal, waking, dream, deep sleep, this we have to cut that umbilical cord. It keeps us entangled. Then our life becomes cyclical. We have to generate enough oomph so that we can get out of this orbit of this gross, subtle, and causal. This is the orbit. Gross, subtle, gross, subtle, causal. Gross, subtle, causal. But what is that around which this gross, subtle, causal is rotating continuously? What is that around which the solar, all the planets are rotating? The sun. Sun is unmoving, all the planets are moving around it. Similarly, gross, subtle, and causal, the body is continuously changing, breath is changing, thoughts are changing, convictions are changing, waking is changing, dream is changing, deep sleep is changing. Every day it comes and goes. What is that around which they are going round and round? Because every day they come and go. What is that? Center. The constant center. The changeless center. Don't look for it in the YouTube. You are that. It will not come through a lecture. You are that. So once when he realizes that he is Paramatma, he is liberated from all fears and sorrows associated with this mundane delusory world. Gross, subtle, and causal is the delusory world. You cannot sort out that which does not exist. You come back to being the original automatically. All the fear of survival, fear of death, which is in the gross, it gets sorted out. Automatically it goes away. Just like that fear goes away when you go to sleep. Since this realization removes the veil of deception and illusion, sheathing and covering his discrimination faculty, intellect, mind, and wisdom, and is called enlightenment. And once this veil, once मीरा's भजन दे घूंघट के पट खोल तुझे पिया मिलेंगे. इस घूंघट के पट, घूंघट is, the veil, the Indian ladies, they cover their face with that. That veil is that Shakti, that veil is that Prakriti, that veil is that Shiva's Shakti, Ishwara's Prakriti or Maya, Brahman's Maya. And knowledge or consciousness and ignorance. Different words meaning the same thing. See? So once we realize that we are the constant one, immediately the delusion once and for all. Delusion is the forgetfulness of our true nature. Because we had accepted what we are not as real, the fear of survival, fear of death, fear of accumulation, fear I don't want to be alone in my life, therefore relationships. All this is born out of fear. We are not happy with ourselves. So we want to involve. See? But once we come to know ourselves, then this urge to protect that which is non-existent gross, subtle, and causal, which is the cause of all the fear, right, once and for all, goes away. Since you reside inside the body of all in the form of a divine spark of light of pure, divine and sublime consciousness and illuminate their mind, intellect, complex, therefore it is you who is their soul, the life-giving force or the real truth identity or Atma, which is pure consciousness called the pure self. As if Ramchandraji doesn't know all this. But Naradji is saying only because he loves to sing the glory of the divine. He loves to sing. As if you don't know that you are the continuous one. You know, but every time you get carried away by the body, breath, mind, intellect. Every time you know you are the man, but you get carried away by being the father, brother, husband, etc. You know. Even though you know, you are still coming and listening to the lectures. Similarly, even though Ramchandraji knows, he doesn't know like us. He knows it continuously. And Naradji, who is the greatest devotee of Lord Narayana, he is coming and doing his job description is to sing the glory of the Lord. He is doing his job. If you want to look at it another way, these words that you are listening in a satsang are prompting you to go back to your original nature. Same way, Sri Ram, who is the divine himself, Naradji is saying, revealing his true nature for all the people who are standing there. See? So Ramchandraji here in this verse, Tvaya yasmat prakashyante sarvasya atma tato bhavan, that you are the Atma of everyone. Just like water is the Atma of every wave, or gold is the Atma of every ornament. Same way, Sri Ram is the Atma of every being. Recognize this about yourself also. Just like your mind is the Atma of every dream body in your dream. Your mind is the... So we are not giving examples which are out of your experience. You are experiencing that. But you have never analyzed it. That's all. Adhyatma Ramayana, Upanishads are words which are reflecting your experiences. Which those experiences, even though you have been having, you are living, but you have never thought about them. You have never pondered over them. Continuing. Ajnanasyate sarvam tvahirajjau bhujangavata tvajnanaliyate sarvam tasmadjnanam sadabhyaset tvatpada bhakti yuktanam vijnanam bhavati kramat yasmat tvad bhakti yuktaye mukti bhajasta evahi. Like the illusion of a servant or the imagination of a serpent in a rope, the whole world is imagined to be present in you due to ignorance. Hence, when the true nature of your being is realized and understood, this illusory and deceptive imagination also vanishes. That is why a seeker should practice Gyan, the pursuit of truth, the essential, basic, elementary nature of existence, its cause and effect, its origin and end based on analysis and sound thinking, not distracted by illusionary or misleading inputs. Acquisition of wisdom and insight. Many people pursue spirituality. They got a big bookshelf and they open any book and any page and they think, oh, this is the message for the day. All that is good initially. That is how everyone begins. But we need to reformat our mind. And the reformatting of the mind, which is existing in its own absence, till you think you are the mind, you need to reformat it. And as in that process of reformatting, when the mind becomes a bit calm and quiet and cool, suddenly the realization comes that I am not the mind. I am the witness of the mind. And this is possible through the practice of Gyan. Practice of Gyan, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet. Raise yourself. Self is of the nature of knowledge. Raise the consciousness by the consciousness, in the consciousness, for the consciousness. And what do? We raise the consciousness by going to temple. We raise the consciousness by traveling, going on pilgrimages. We raise the consciousness by doing puja, arti, havan, etc., etc. You can do all those things, but when you think that this is the only way, then it becomes a problem. When we are addicted to doing, we are forgetting that we are the consciousness. And when we are saying raise the consciousness by the consciousness, that means no interference of any otherness, no mantra, no effort, no doing, no props. This consciousness is of the nature of knowledge, jnana, wisdom. So don't get distracted. Here Naradji is saying don't get distracted by illusory pursuits. Everything else other than the consciousness is illusory. Only those persons who are endowed with the attribute of your dedicated devotion can expect to achieve true knowledge, jnana. Hence, those who are possessed of your bhakti can only expect to have deliverance and salvation. See? Only those persons who are endowed with the attribute of your devoted devotion. So for whom is this salvation possible? For whom is this realization possible? For whom is this wisdom possible? Wisdom means going beyond the imaginary. Consciousness means going beyond the illusory, beyond the shadow, beyond the maya, beyond the shakti, beyond the projection, going beyond the delusion and illusion. Delusion is self-forgetfulness, and illusion is the imagination, the projection, going beyond both. How can we come to if you are thinking about the illusion, how can you go beyond illusion? You have to contemplate on that one who is beyond the illusion. Then the strength to go beyond the illusion will come. So who is that? It is Sri Ram. Where is he? In your heart. How will you catch him in your heart? As the consciousness, as the Atma. Be that. Surrender to him. Contemplate on him. Only he can deliver. We, by our efforts, can never conquer the illusion. We, by our efforts, can never conquer the Maya, Prakriti, ignorance. We cannot. We cannot. It's only by grace. Hence, those who are possessed of your bhakti can only expect to have deliverance. Only those who have ananya bhakti, exclusive devotion towards your feet, towards you, can expect to be delivered. Exclusive devotion means where they are only thinking of the divine to the exclusion of everything else. Thought of the world doesn't come and disturb, hijack, corrupt. They are completely available. अहम त्वद्भक्त भक्तानां तद्भक्तानां च किङ्करः अतो माम् अनुगृह्णीष्व मोहयस्व न मां प्रभो त्वन्नाभिकमलोत्पत्नो ब्रह्मा मे जनकः प्रभो अतस्तवाहं पौत्रोऽस्मि Bhaktam mam pahi raghava. O Lord, I am a servant, follower of those who are in turn devotees, of those who follow your true, those who follow your devotees. That is, I am a fourth rung devotee. So please do not cast your delusions on me, but show munificence and benevolence instead. O Lord Brahma, who was born on a divine lotus which had emerged from your navel, is my father. Hence, I am your grandson. So, O Raghav Shri Ram, you should save and protect me, who am your devotee and relative. So, Naradji, in his own imitable style, he is creating ये रिलेशनशिप का प्रॉब्लम कहीं दूर नहीं जाता. Question is with whom we want to create a relationship. So Naradji says, from you, Brahmaji was born. After Brahmaji, Sanat Kumaras were born. And from Brahmaji, I was born. So I am your great grandson. Or if you take it, when he says the fourth, from the Supreme, the Ishvara Prakriti, from Ishvara, Brahmaji, from Brahmaji, Narad Muni. So he is the fourth one. He says, please, I am related to you. You have to protect me. It is your job. सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भगवान पे डाल दी. हम क्या करते हैं? We take all responsibility. We hold on to our responsibility. We never let go. We are control freaks. Bhagwan is the master of Prakriti without doing anything. He doesn't interfere. That's why he is the master. We don't know how not to interfere. Therefore, we are the slave. We go to the doctor, we suggest to the doctor, I think this medicine will work for me. We go to the gym, we suggest to the trainer that I think this exercise is better for me. Everywhere we have suggestion. That is entanglement. That I know better. Get out. Get out of the equation. Allow the life to flow. Remain available to the Supreme. Like Naradji is yena kena prakarena. By different ways, we have seen so many devotees, even Naradji, if you read Narad Puran, in that also, so many experiences. Life is going on, there will be some experiences, but whatever the experience Naradji has, he never forgets the feet of the Lord. He never forgets the source. He never forgets the constant principle, the divine principle. Therefore, he is called the devotee of the Lord. Who are we? Who have completely forgotten the constant principle. I am your grandson, so O Raghav, O Sri Ram, you should save and protect me who am your devotee and relative. Continuing, Ityuktva bahusho natva swananda shupaliplutaha uvacha vachanam Rama brahmana noditosmyaham ravanasya vadharthaya jatosi raghusattama idanim rajya rakshartham pita tvam abhishekshati. Saying so and repeatedly bowing his head in reverence, Naradji's eyes were filled with tears of joy and exhilaration. He said, "Oh, the best in the clan of Raghu Sri Ram, Lord Brahma has sent me to you. You have incarnated, that is, revealed yourself with the express purpose of slaying the demon Ravana. But now your father Dasharath wants to anoint you as Prince Regent to take charge of the administration of the kingdom." This is how Naradji comes into our life. He comes as experiences, events, contacts, persons, wise persons, experiences, if we are available. What is your purpose of life? If you feel that you have taken this form, why have you formed? To eat, grow, get married, have children, live like a donkey for 20-25 years till they are finished studies, then worry about their marriage, and after marriage they leave your home, then you become depressed, nobody at home, and then die. Is that your purpose of life? That's why you are born, to live this miserable life. Think. We just keep living a cyclical life, never thinking, hey, where is this going? We never assess our life. Animals also give birth to the children. They train their children. They make them adept in their, pass on the skills to the next generation. After that, they let them go. They don't remain attached to them. A human being is the only species who remains attached till the last breath to what he has produced, to what he has created, to what he has accumulated. No other trees create the fruit, they give it to others. Rivers gives its water to everyone. The tree gives its shade to everyone. Human being, he creates everything and keeps it for himself. देखो, परोपकार नहीं है. So in everyone's life, find out in your life when you became so deeply interested. Deeply means, when did it click that I must listen to satsangs regularly? When was it? When you were a kid, when you were a teenage, when you were a youth? Some event must have triggered it. Some event must have triggered it. In Ramchandraji's life, arrival of Narad Muni is Narad Muniji is reminding Sri Ram the purpose of his birth. If he becomes the king, how will he go and kill Ravan? Like some people tell, no? Even though I have put it in the calendar, people, Swamiji, tomorrow there is a satsang in our Fiji temple. Even though I got it in the calendar, I forget to see the calendar sometimes. So they remind me, no, Swamiji, aaj sham ko aana hai. Acha, acha, acha. What is the purpose of today? I have to go and give a satsang at Fiji temple. Sometimes for bhiksha also. Swamiji, you are coming tomorrow. Don't forget. You remember? Yes. Same way, satsang is a way to trigger you, me, to come to our true purpose in life. What is that? To recognize that we are the constant principle. We must not get lost in the imaginary. Now, don't go and tell your wife and husband you are imaginary. I'll stop washing dishes, I'll stop cooking, I'll stop driving, I'll stop working, I'll stop going to work, I'll stop bringing money in. Why? Everything is illusion. That is stupid conclusion. The disentanglement has to be brought about in your mind, not in the outside. While working through everything, you come to your essential nature. That is what this satsang is, or any satsang is triggering. Naradji is reminding Sri Ram of his true purpose. This satsang or any satsang is reminding us of our true nature. Don't pursue the world, pursue yourself. यदि राज्याभिसंसक्तो रावणं न हनिष्यसि प्रतिज्ञाते कृता राम भूभारहरणाय वै तत्सत्यं कुरु राजेन्द्र सत्यसङ्गस्त्वमेव हि श्रुत्वैतद्गदितं रामो नारदं प्राह संस्मितम्. O Sri Ram, once being enthroned and engrossed in the work of the kingdom, you will not be able to slay Ravana. So this part is not there in Tulsi Ramayana. So here he is saying that once you accept the throne of the Ayodhya, you are ordained as the crown prince and you get involved and engrossed in running the kingdom, when will you have the time to go and kill this evil Ravana? What will happen to your promise that you made to the gods about removing the burden of the earth by slaying Ravana? That was the first chapter when Brahmaji, the earth, the Prithvi, along with the Devatas, went to Brahmaji. Brahmaji went to the Kshir Sagar. On the banks of the Kshir Sagar, he prayed to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu appeared as Shankar Chakra Gada Padmadhari, Pitambaradhari, and there he promised them, yes, I will come and help and I will slay the Ravana. I will be born through in the in the Dasharatha's as Dasharatha's son, and so on. He gave the assurance there. Just like you did not know when you were born that you are of the nature of Atma. You were programmed by the society that you are the body, you are the son, you are the brother. Then you grew up, you are the husband, you are the father. Somewhere along that journey of life, somewhere it clicked, something triggered that you are the Atma, you are essentially the divine. Isn't it? Now you are working towards it. Otherwise, if you are not interested in that divinity, you cannot withstand this continuous, what do you call, beating of the drums of Vedanta. Then it's just noise and you will get disinterested very quickly. But because you are interested, so you are available. You want to work on yourself. because somewhere it has clicked that my true purpose is to recognize that I am essentially divine. Similarly, Ramchandraji is being reminded by Naradji of his true purpose so that he does not get involved in unnecessary responsibilities. So, O King of Kings, make your promise come true because you are steadfast and unwavering in truthfulness. Hearing these words of Sage Narada, Sri Ram smiled and said, see, we were also born like this. How did we take to the sannyas path? Why do people take the yogic path? Why do they renounce? Why do they go to the Himalayas? They were born from a womb. They were born on this earth. They are eating, drinking, waking, dreaming, sleeping persons. They are individuals, jivas. Somewhere it clicked. Sometimes it doesn't. The trigger doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. And your life and your whole orientation takes a different turn. See? Just like Naradji is reminding Sri Ram of his true purpose, Naradji within us also reminds us of our true purpose. Our true purpose is to come back to Sri Ram or come back to the consciousness that we are. But Ramchandraji is already the Ishvara incarnated. So what is his purpose? His purpose is there in the world. Our purpose is to transcend the world. The Lord's purpose is to fix the world. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, he says. Now what does Ramchandraji say to Naradji in reply? We'll look at it in our next class. It's okay? आज के लिए इतना काफ़ी है. Enough for today. So from 37th verse, 36th verse, we'll begin our next class. Ramchandraji is saying, oh Narad, listen, is there anything about which I don't know? Ayo. Ramchandraji is answering. But we'll look at, if I start that, then very quickly half an hour will go. We'll look at it in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment.